The frog is dead. Long live the cat.
At least it didn't do what the monkey did to it.
Hi, buddy.
I don't want to know. I'm
If
recording.
anyone remembers that video, you're best keeping it to yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't think I want to know.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't think I want to.
Peter, come inside.
Ray, don't shut your brother outside. Come here.
No.
That kid learns quick.
You gonna shut him out there with the rooster?
Kid versus rooster. Who will win? Who will
The
lose?
rooster every time.
Yeah, roosters are fucking assholes.
Yes, he is.
They're not at like goose level though.
Oh yes, he is. And geese don't have talons.
They're tasty as fuck, though.
Geese.
Oh.
What, geese or cocks?
Why you got to judge?
I would like to have a pet frog.
A genuine question. I wouldn't know myself. I've ate neither.
Bro, we both know you've tried a bit of sausage in your time.
Oh, well, I am in Germany after all.
The land of the sausage.
That
It is.
does not make it any
You could
better.
say it's the worst. Hey, am I right? Am I
Somebody just remove him from the channel. Do it, mate.
I don't have that ability.
He got dumped in the evil channel.
Yeah, I belong there.
Yes, yes, you do actually.
Second campaign.
Second verse, same as the first. Now stick me in an airship so I can stick him in a hearse. But
I'm so glad this is all on record.
Yep, it is.
oh god, have we started recording?
Yeah, I mentioned.
Well, I
said
guess.
You got that right, Gestapo boy.
Oh god, that's
Hey,
fucking.
NSA. I'm not associated with these people.
I'm just gonna hide that from the.
Delete other people's
No,
messages.
no, the spam protection has stopped me. No,
Minton, you realize you can delete other people's messages?
Right,
shit,
we're well
I
outside
can.
the NSA's jurisdiction.
Right, over to you, Jordan.
Stuff.
Anyway,
Also, rare background noise.
I
I'm
guess
working on it.
we'll begin this session where we left off about a month ago in real life time, but about 5 seconds from the last time, I believe. You guys had actually no, you needed your spell slots back, didn't you?
He'd
What
like
is
his.
spells?
Alright.
We haven't.
Oh yeah, I
used,
guess it'd be.
we haven't used much. Because we slept before going back to Arcadia, drop off the heart.
Someone's down like 4 teleports though.
Yep.
Well, after I rested, I got most of my slots back, unless you guys mishapped all over the place.
No, it
Well,
was
I
just
mean-
one teleport there and back.
One teleport to Arcadia, then one back, and then, I don't know, if Iscaria goes back to Arcadia, to then come back and join us later.
Then I kind of need my spell slots. Or I need to know what I don't have.
I was gonna say, I think you would have gotten them back anyway.
So do I
It's
just take one 6th level slot for the teleport back to the tower?
Yeah,
Yes,
just
that's
that'd be
helpful, even.
yeah. Do that for just getting everyone there, and then if it was done when you're NPC'd, you know, not gonna penalise you for it.
Okay. I've got my allocation spells then.
I'll say you guys had gone and visited the druids to deliver the remains of their fallen druid comrade. And I believe we ended it with you guys just outside the tower. So that is where we will begin again.
Is this guy with us?
Yeah, at this point, Piscaria would have been waiting at the tower for you guys.
All right.
Ready to go to the Feywild?
Well, actually,
Not
yes,
in
I
the
am.
slightest.
Lavender kind of darts her eyes over to Viscaria, like, and nods.
Do you
Come on,
know?
it's an adventure.
You know,
That being
Gotham.
said, it's still the Feywild. We're going into somewhere where I really don't like spending any time. I need to find what Pascal's voice was. Whatever.
You know, Gotham. They say from ancient tales that your race originates from the Feywild.
So they say. I guess we're about to find out.
Indeed.
I guess unless anybody else has any ideas on anything else they want to do.
Ah, they were good.
Yeah, change my mind. Let's go to the Badlands instead. Wake up. Let's go.
Do remember that we will have to hold our breath when we go up there.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Might be a good idea. Other than that, you make your way down into the deep down into the basement through the underground farm. You can see the plants are still pretty burnt. Some of them seem to have started to grow back ever so slightly, but none of them seem to attack you.
I'm gonna stomp on a few of the regrowing ones as I pass.
You notice they kind of like almost retract, try and get away from the path.
Very feisty today. Are you just that excited?
I
Oh,
am excited.
Before we hop into the portal, Vincent, I'm going to throw mage armor on myself.
Tio?
I want the bath before we go.
Oh, I will be doing that too. What's my...
I mean, it lasts for 13 hours. 12 hours.
Where are my buffs? Is it buffs? Mage armor. Yep. Mage armor engaged.
Is anybody else casting any spells before they teleport up into the...
Does Toby have a breakfast spell?
Yeah.
I'm just going through my spells just see if I've got anything that's of a long enough duration to bother with.
Lavender cracks her knuckles. Oh.
I'm talking about.
Let me check my cantrips. That's concentration.
I highly doubt that you've got a cantrip that lasts for 8 hours.
No, I'm just checking.
I mean, also, Toby might have a breakfast spell. It's called a ration pack.
I mean, Lavender
cast
has some
ration
spare
pack.
cakes.
Oh my god, spare cake.
Yeah, she has cake kits and she makes cakes. So if you ask her nicely, she may give you one.
Can I have a cake, please? I'm sorry. Can I have a cake, please?
Lavender kind of looks really far down at him,
Oh god.
reaches in her bag and hands him a cake, like leaves her hands open for him to take it.
And then drops it on his head.
No, she's just waiting for him to take it. She's not smiling or nothing. She's just looking at him.
I just asked nicely.
She doesn't really smile.
She pushes her hand towards him. Like, here you go. She doesn't say that, but
I'm gonna eat it.
it's a very delicious cake.
Stop dying.
Oh, you really should not have done that. It is very, very poisonous.
Oh,
Lavender
I'm gonna eat
cuts
another
her
one.
eyes towards the vampire.
I give a little wave and a smile.
She cracks her neck looking at you.
Alright, girls, time to go. I'm gonna push the closest one of them into the teleportation circle.
I'm gonna hold my breath real quick before I get pushed through.
There's a flash of light, and you find yourself in a fairly dark circular room. You can see. I'm trying. Did you go up there?
I did not.
Not.
Only Sir Rule did. I did not.
Oh, we should probably go through the actual portal to the Feywild all together, like holding hands or something.
Oh, I've already dived.
Well.
The moment I see portal, I dive in.
You don't know where the
don't
portal
see the
is.
you don't see the portal when you're teleporting up.
Although I did have Sir Rule tell me the layout.
There is a set of stairs going up.
Yeah, I'm gonna teleport after her.
I step through next.
Sir Rule's been with me as well.
At ATO. What about Hobbit or Gorthon, Lavender, and Tobald?
Lavender's waiting for them two to go through.
Sure, I'll go through.
They turn around and fuck off, and they were never seen, and they never saw the magic users again.
Oh, well, I think I'm still eating my breakfast, aren't I?
Lavender picks him up by the scruff of his coat and throws him in.
Okay, well, while she's doing that, I'm going to carry on eating my breakfast.
That's fine. And she goes in after him.
Yep, you carry on eating your breakfast.
I have to roll a dex check to make sure I keep eating.
If you want to.
I think it's a given that Toby's dexterous enough to eat his breakfast in pretty much any situation.
I was gonna say, he get away with
It's a
eating
bit of a
anything.
gimme.
Toby is proficient in breakfast eating.
Profession breakfast eater.
Well, I was a juggler, so I'd imagine,
But where you're a crusty juggler.
getting a few sausages down my throat is not too much of a problem.
I'm just shaking my head.
Yeah, you are.
But what about those crusty jugglers?
Anyway,
Muck.
you all find yourself up in a large chamber. You can see there's a set of stairs going up, which, if Sorab was making her way to lead through, she'd probably be heading up the stairs now.
I would have caught up with her and made sign to wait for the others.
I give a very kind of look, but not actually exhaling. And then look very impatiently with almost a vibrating tapping foot. And once everyone's through, give a gesture up the stairs.
Because I was strolls past you while you're waiting for Toby and Lavender.
I'm being first in line. You're going up, I go up ahead.
I'm gonna roll my eyes and grab both of your hands and make you wait for the rest of the group.
Well, while she's holding both them hands, both hand occupied, I'm going to sneak past and be first one out.
Do you really want to be all alone in the Feywild?
Sort
We
of
only have
looking,
so many hands.
Yes.
I'm looking up at where Gorthon's just gone. I'm looking back at Noah. I'm looking where Gorthon just went, and I'm like,
I'll lead you upstairs. Shaking my head.
God fucking damn it! I mentioned doors that components are verbal.
Haha. Right,
Oh,
you all managed to make your way up. Pescaria does not seem to want to be detained by Noor.
Nope.
But eventually making way up, you can see that there is a circular pool of crystal clear water sitting in the middle of the floor, surrounded by grass, flowers, mushrooms. And looking into the water, you can see that the reflection on the other side seems to be quite nice trees in the background, towering up, and you can see some hills in the distance.
I push Nora in.
The
And
moment
then
she
follow
hits,
her through.
the moment she hits that water, I am doing a very flamboyant dance, like flip into it.
I'm stepping through straight after I push Nora in. She's so excited to go into the Feywild, she can go first. Also, Rip Monkey.
Ripperoni, Monkeroni.
Ooh.
Like, my plan was for us to all go together, but okay.
Is Garth on the last one again?
I'll say, how does Gorthon do it?
Just walk straight in.
I pick up the eating one, little one again, and Lavender goes in, again holding the small one by the scruff of its neck.
The small one.
It's a small one after all.
So we're in what? A crystal pool?
Well, you are in a crystal pool. The moment your feet touches it, you seem to go. Your foot seems to go through until it nearly hits the bottom, and then it keeps going. As you fall almost through this puddle hole portal, you're not. Well, you might be quite sure at this point. But so Rab, can you roll me a reflex? Oh god, yeah, you're fine. And then Kanor as well.
Is this because I pushed her?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're all fine. You feel, all of you feel a bit strange as you step through. It feels almost like it's pulling you in. And those of you that are wearing iron, you feel the iron get hot slightly, and you hear a ringing in your head.
Good thing I'm not wearing iron.
Same.
Would the metal on my weapons be iron?
Yes.
Is Lavender's armor iron? I think so.
Yep.
Yep. Lavender just kind of like grits her teeth a little bit, but doesn't say anything, and just kind of relaxes back out of it.
Well, that was different. Sorry.
Yep. You'll
That was
find
different.
yourself staring up a brand new sky, seems. As I say, looking around, you can see that this place seems almost like an exaggeration of the regular world. The trees seem to stretch for hundreds of feet high. You can see the vibrant colours, bright greens, blues. At the moment, it seems to be twilight, and so the sky is a beautiful fire orange just all across the horizon. These bright colors mean that some of the darker areas are also quite contrasted. You can see underneath the trees, you can see it extends into darkness quite rapidly. You can only see 20 feet into the forest before your vision is cut off.
Does dark vision pierce the darkness?
Slightly. You can see. What's your dark vision?
90 feet.
You can see. Looks about 90 feet in, but it is very, very hard to see.
Okay. You know, Joyfield would definitely have loved to have seen this.
So, Minton, I can see perfectly for 120 feet.
Yes, though, at the closer to the end, it starts getting quite dark.
I can see perfectly in any darkness for 120 feet.
Oh yeah, you have some shenanigans, don't you?
Yep.
Yep, you can see perfectly for 120 feet. But yeah, you can see at the moment you're standing on some decent-looking large open plains. There's some hills to the north, and it seems as though there might be a coastline to the south, and then to the east there seems to be a rather quite large forest. That's where you can see the trees stretching into the skyline.
We probably want to go in the direction of the forest. Would be my wild guess, given that we're looking for, wood.
That may be so, but it is a specific kind of wood that we need to find.
Hey, Minton.
Yep.
Can I make a knowledge plane to figure out where this tree might be based on where we are?
Sure, go ahead.
35?
You're fairly certain dryads tend to live in forests, quite unsurprisingly.
Deep forest, edge of forest.
You know that they can't stray very far from the tree, but it's mainly the deep forest is where they are.
Okay, so we want to go deeper, probably.
Just before we head off. There isn't a portal by us, is there?
Nope.
Well, it appears that we need to make our own way back.
It's a good thing I picked up that scroll then.
Indeed.
Well then. Dryads tend to live in the deep forest as much as possible, so we probably want to head even further in if all of you can see.
Lavender takes out one of her little sun rods and starts walking in front of them, looking out for anything that may attack them.
Pascaris is kind of blinking for a minute as you do that. Light.
It would affect me more, but I was born in the desert. I'm used to this. Shall we go?
It's the sudden change to light from darkness that bothered me, not the light so much itself.
Let's go.
And Lavender's already moving in.
Oh. Keep nearish Lavender, but behind. Saru will be probably staying in my shadow.
I am looking all around for new stuffs. Plants I've never seen, animals, creatures.
I would like to put forward, by the way, that if we do happen to find anything of a connection to a dryad, I would very much appreciate it, as it would make our lives far more easier in locating a dryad.
So finding a dryad will make it easier to find a dryad. Noted.
Finding something that belonged to a dryad, specifically.
I am poking fun at you, dear.
I know. I'm just clarifying for some others.
Can I have perception checks from all of you then, please?
I can certainly try.
Yep.
Just have to find it. I'm not used to rolling my own stuff. Oh, I found it.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Oh, Larry, you don't
Hey,
see nothing.
You nat one it, and you still see more than I do.
You see more than Sorul does.
Gorthon sees more than me. I see more than the rest of you. I forgot Gorthon's perception is stupid.
Rangers, who?
So what did we get? Some big numbers.
And some not so big.
Fucking Gorthon, alright?
Ranging from 12 to 43.
Yeah.
But looking around, you can see you can see the grass seems almost greener. Well, most certainly is greener than the material plane. You can see there are some flowers, the most vibrant colours you've ever seen. Not even the brightest of noblemen's robes comes anywhere close to it.
What's Lavender's carry capacity?
Hey.
Lavender look down at if she sees any flowers nearby and pick one that is lavender color.
Yeah, this one which is that sort of bright purpley pink.
She kind of takes it and tries to quickly put it away before anybody sees.
That perception I probably did.
Yeah, you probably
I
did.
probably didn't.
Minton, as this is going on, I want to swap detect secret doors for Antle.
That's the one that lets you carry lots, isn't it?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm just going to flick through my spell book, swap around my preparation, give Lavender the ability to carry over 3,000 pounds of staff. And now I've got it, I'm going to go ahead and cast Anthole on Lavender.
Yeah, that's just gonna last, what is it, 24 hours?
24 hours.
Would she feel the effects of this?
You suddenly feel light as a feather.
Has she cast this on her before?
Vincent, how long have I known Lavender?
Not that long.
Then in that case, I'm going to explain to you as I cast it that it's going to make you able to carry a lot more stuff for the next day.
She keeps on leading the party, looking more grumpy.
How does Lavender feel being made to carry 2 tons of tree?
We haven't found the tree yet.
If I have time, I'll make her write in her book what she feels.
Welcome back.
Looking at Lavender's carry capacity, by the way, Minton,
Mhm.
3,600 pounds is the threshold of heavy load. Well, is the upper end of heavy load now.
Okay.
2,400 is the threshold of medium to heavy.
You sure? Just carry 2 tons and it's a medium load.
I'm sorry.
Fucking, what is Lavender, a small car?
What did I
28
miss?
strength.
Hey, she is a
Sorry.
sexy woman, don't you dare?
28 strength, Minton.
Yeah.
Carry capacity triple.
Now just cast, what is it? Bull strength?
Yes. However, I have it in a scroll. I'm not fucking casting that.
Not gonna waste a scroll for the memes, but
No, because I want to add it to my spellbook.
That's fine. Walking through the forest, you do also notice some things in the undergrowth seem to shift a bit as you walk in. You notice right off in the distance a couple of the bush sort of shake as something seems to move away. You notice a few dancing lights in the distance as well.
Have I heard any rumors about some dancing lights?
I mean, I can do those.
Hey,
I'm gonna
Minton.
cast my own dancing lights because it's a cantrip, so why not?
Knowledge planes. You're aware that there are a fair few things which level the Feywild. Some might probably. It might just be extremely pretty fireflies. It might be something casting dancing lights. It might be something trying to scare you off, lure you in. In the Feywild.
Oh,
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 I've done a lot of research about the Feywild, I just remembered. Like, reading all those books. Fey creatures?
yeah.
I noted down all like the topics of it. One of them was Fey creatures I had to research on. Would this be anything in that book of Fey creatures?
Potentially, I'd say it'd probably be in that book as well as with that role I probably know. There have been recounts of pixies just liking to make dancing lights just to mess with travelers. So it could potentially be a pixie, or it could be, yeah, just a regular bug. Be not normally that harmful though. If it is something, if generally the scarier is the more you know when it's getting closer.
Can Lavender see them from where she's at with her sunrise?
Oh yeah, you'd be able to see them off in the distance.
Lavender starts gets her sword out and starts prowling like a cat.
not everything in the Feywild wants to kill us.
Still on prowl mode.
It is a fair point. But many of our research did direct us to the Winter Court, and those very much want to kill us. Doesn't stop us enjoying the surroundings, though. Better safe than sorry, my dear Noah.
True.
I say, is Lavender trying to sneak up on them then?
Sure.
Can I have a stealth roll then, please? That is surprisingly stealthy for someone in heavy armor. Or is it even
Lavender
heavy?
has her ways.
That was a 4. Okay. You managed to sneak fairly close up to the lights. You can start to see the lights are dancing around, seeming almost to form some kind of pattern. At this point, you're about maybe 20 feet away from them.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic. I mean, I know you want some magic with your magic, but
Yeah, luckily, even when the entire area has loads of magic, you can detect where there's more magic. The lights do seem magical.
I will relay that information. Can I tell what kind of magic?
Illusion?
Okay. Dancing light is illusion, right?
Yes.
It's a top.
We should indeed continue, should we not?
Do we want to approach? Dancing light is actually evocation. Do we want to
Shit, it's
approach it?
evocation magic then.
Do we want to approach it, or do we want to avoid it?
We've determined what it is, some kind of pixie. It may know where there is a dryad nearby, but we will have to have a bit of guile.
I call out in Sylvan, asking if anyone's there and wants to speak to us.
Oh, scheisse. I'm the talker and I can't fucking speak the language.
Lavender's still kind of hiding, waiting to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you call out and you see the lights start to slowly float their way over to you.
As we get closer, can I recognize anything about them?
They sort of bob up and down, changing colours. Can you roll me a spellcraft check?
Sure. I certainly can.
That's a bad roll, isn't it?
9. One below average.
In fact, when I was playing back there was a 7.
Fug. Anyway,
We'll have none of that.
you're fairly certain this is evocation magic. Something is probably making those lights. And right as you're sort of, staring intently, trying to figure out the lights, you hear a voice next to you, saying, "Sylvan, what do you want then?"
Sorry, where are we? I'm a little lost, having had my internet shut bed. Okay.
We got through the portal and
You're
we've
in the
wandered
land
into
of
the forest.
fairies, in a very, very dark forest.
Have I finished my breakfast at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
You've finished your breakfast.
So presumably it must be nearly time for second breakfast.
I just want to know what's going on around me.
My reply is going to be, we have been requested to to acquire some bark from a dryad tree. We were hoping to find and speak to one to see if we could come to an arrangement, though I don't believe my friends here know Sylvan. So, if you happen to know another language like the language of the elves, it would be appreciated.
I can speak Sylvan.
It's really just Lavender, myself, and Toby. I imagine. Does Toby know Sylvan?
Tony speaks small people languages. Are they small?
I mean, they're pixies.
I don't think it's on his language list.
No, common, halfling, dwarvish, gnomish, elvish.
Elvish as in tiny.
It is if you think of them as like Santa's elves. Let's not be racist.
What's his reply to me then?
Nope, don't speak Elvish.
It was a hope. It just means that some of my party are not going to be able to communicate.
I wave.
Toby continues to be useless.
Lavender stays hidden.
Is she doing a good job? I turn to Gotham.
Is she doing a good job at what? The hiding?
The communicating part.
It seems alright for now.
Okay.
I am not attempting to deceive Minton. I believe every word I'm saying.
Yep. Ah,
From the books we read, can we determine if this is a winter, like from the Winter Court fairy?
having a look at it, it just seems to be a pixie. It doesn't look necessarily aligned with any court.
Good.
Was it the same response?
Sort of, I'm trying, is this in reply to you asking for a dryad?
Yes. I said alright, so we can at least try and speak to one and see if we can come to an agreement.
I suppose I could lead you there.
You could. I sense you're going to have a cost to that.
I'll do it for a favour.
Clarify.
At least she's not pretending it's a gift.
I mean, no. Don't really need anything at the moment, but might need a favour later on. Favour for a favour?
Minton, with everything Piscaria knows, is this a good idea?
Can I have another knowledge planes?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I willed that nat one. I was thinking in my head, it's going to be a nat one in it. It's going to be a
That's
nat
still
one.
a 29.
I mean, 29. The books, or those story tales, fairy tales you read, always are like, oh, you shouldn't accept deals from Fae. But I mean, then again, those books also say don't go to the Feywild, so.
I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of being in the pocket of some of this fuck, so I'm pretty strongly resistant to this idea.
Do you mind if I
agree with this.
Do you mind if I discuss this with my companions?
Go ahead. You're gonna have a hard time finding
Can we have no
a dryad,
dying
though.
in this team speak, please? Sorry, Discord.
Hmm?
Someone was dying. I think it was
I
me, so I was saying no dying in the Discord.
Yeah, sorry,
That
can you
was
repeat what
me,
you said?
sorry.
I can save it for
Let's
later.
be fair.
You said. Can you repeat what you said that last line there?
You're gonna have a hard time finding a dryad on your own.
I'm going to switch to Kalish and explain everything that's being said for the benefit of those that don't speak Sylvan.
Does Lavender know Kalish? Because I know the rest of the party does. Now.
Would she know Kalish? Only thing I have
Probably
listed
not.
is common. Yeah, she doesn't know it, but she doesn't care. She's just watching them for funny business, so she don't care.
I'm pretty sure you should know more than just common. Figure that out later.
It'd be common Arcadian and some other stuff, but yeah.
I'm basically looking straight at Sarab as this is being said.
Anyway, we
So,
can put any kind of restriction on the scale of the favor.
It's
Information for information, something like that.
could I? Now knowing that, like, when I was watching
yourself.
when I was watching the conversation, or not understanding anything, but getting my best bet at body language to see like tensions and whatnot, did I spot the fairy look in any particular direction at any point in the conversation that I could possibly add up to when the dryad was mentioned?
Roll sense motive?
Oh, this would be good. That's not bad.
The pixie's just kind of looking around everywhere, staring at you guys. Seems to be having a pretty carefree life. Doesn't seem to be staring in one direction when it mentioned Dryad.
Right.
How do you not have languages? I don't know. No, you can ask him yourself, or
I can't. I can understand them. I can't speak.
indeed.
Even if we could acquire something that belonged to or has a likeness to a dryad, we can do the rest of it ourselves. I can scry upon it, or attempt to at least. But as I don't know a dryad personally, I need something to link.
Which is where the problem comes in. As much as my instincts are screaming at me not to take this, I'm not opposed if we really want to find this dryad.
You could always ask if it has ever asked for a favor before.
I'm going to switch back to Silver and ask what favors has it asked for in the past?
Sort of just seems to almost, ponder it, sort of, tapping its chin, looking up at the sky. It's like, not really had a chance to ask for.
Well, that's helpful.
Might just ask for something like a drink.
Yeah.
Some food on the material plane that's pretty nice.
Some food looks pretty nice. Any particular requests or types of food you're interested in?
Well, I've got some with me. I like hold out a.
You don't speak Sylvan.
Well, I say it in common.
How would
Don't
you
we have
understand
don't we
we're
have
talking about
those?
food?
Don't we have those little fish things from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in our ear?
Unfortunately not.
Oh.
I
thought we
it's
did.
called comprehend languages.
Oh, fucking fancy schmantz magic.
So yeah, I'm asking if there's any particular food he's interested in from the material plane, so I know the kind of thing he's interested in.
It's gonna be like that thing from District 9 where it's cat food or something.
I'm just kind of curious as to what kind of thing he might ask me. If he asks me for something really fucking expensive and rare, I'm going to react differently to something I could fairly easily pick up in Arcadia.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure at the moment. It might be, you know. I hear there are some pretty nice cakes. Yes.
As I hear that, I will ask Toby for one of his cakes.
Okay. If you pay me,
Uh,
I'll sell it to you, Gorthon, for 5 gold.
hang on, before you do that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I could get you a cake right now if you would agree. Favor for a favor.
Not sure I want a cake right now, though, or even if I want a cake, I mean...
Is this just the Fae version of Toby? Actually, no, it's not, because Toby would definitely want the cake.
Do I have any kind of inkling of the power of that creature we're talking to?
Please don't threaten it.
No, I don't mean to threaten it.
I'm not saying
You
I
mean like the
contemplated.
barbarian in the bushes with her sword out, looking at it?
Like, if you want me to roll a knowledge or something, but...
I mean, it's a pixie. It's pretty small. About like maybe the size of your arm.
I mean, size can be deceiving, but from what I
Minton
know
knows all about
from what I know about Fae, it's probably not a very powerful thing.
Oh no, it doesn't look necessarily super powerful.
I don't think this is the kind of Fae we need to be wary of making deals with. What's the worst it can do? Bite someone?
that. What's the worst that could happen?
I didn't want to just offer it a cake for nothing.
Why not?
That's not how you do well in the Feywild. You don't just give them what they mention without making a deal for it first.
Well,
It's
that was
also
the
not
point.
how you.
I was seeing if he had one, so I could then ask and say, "Would you like to do a trade?"
I'll sell them a cake if he wants it.
I mean, this is just a general rule in the material plane as well.
I was going to say Pescaria would know with the stupidly high knowledge planes rolls. Giving gift to Fae is one way to get yourself on the shit list. Fae do not like receiving gifts at all.
As a note, don't accept a gift either.
Yeah, the pixie's just like...
I'm trying not to be beholden for too long with something really abstract.
Yeah, the pixie's just like... I'm not really sure what you want. I mean, I can just lead you there now, and then when I know what I want, I'll tell you.
Tell us what you want now, or no deal.
Brazil just sort of holds a hand up and goes in direction. And how will we be in contact or make it back to you? The only access we currently have to the Feywild is through a portal in a tower, and I don't know how consistent that will be getting to the Feywild. I'm not against returning the favor in the future. I just like to know how possible it is to fulfill it.
You can see the pixies just kind of thinks and goes, "Oh, I could try and come up with something while you guys are here."
It would be much appreciated. I am not opposed to returning the favor in the future. I'm just concerned about making it back to you without running into trouble along the way, as the portal is likely not the most consistent thing to have ever been created. But I am happy to accept the trade of favor for favor. You lead us to the Dryad. I will return the favor in the future when requested.
I would like to draw attention to the I in that thing. It was first person singular person.
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
going through the same thing.
Yep, that was very deliberate.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
I will return the favor. I'm not getting you guys
You
involved.
can, you can see the pixie still lights up and says, "A deal's a deal, and a deal has been made."
Use fucks now, boy.
I was going to say,
I made the deal.
you made the deal, and only Pescaria feels a sudden, almost weight. You don't know why, but it feels like your shoulders have just, been pushed down slightly. It goes away after a couple of seconds, but just...
Hi. Wow, that's a 3. So that's a 31.
You know, in the Feywild, words have power. Giving your word can physically cause things. By verbally agreeing to a deal, you can enter into a magical contract, basically.
Yep. I just wanted to make sure that was what it was.
Making a deal with the Fey is pretty much the same as making a pact with a devil or a demon.
Oh, I know I'm locked into this favor trade with the Fae. I'm a lot less worried than signing a contract with the devil.
and someone in our party is hopefully going to do both and beat them at their own game. Eventually.
I recognize this music.
It's very nice music.
It is.
At the end of the day,
Best game.
I'm going to trust what the pixie says about not being able to find a dryad on our own, and I'll take the risk.
I turn to Gawthon. Is everything alright?
Don't know, don't care. Done what she has done what she's done.
I'm not. I don't understand. So I'm just asking you.
She made a deal.
Oh,
That is all.
alright.
Sarah is not thrilled about this, but expedient solution is expedient. I have every intention of keeping my word. I mean, I have to, but I have every intention of keeping my word.
You have every intention on fear of magic.
I mean, I have a suspicion that I could probably disintegrate the little shit if I didn't like him. But what would that accomplish apart from pissing stuff off in the area? When in Rome.
Not gonna lie, I may have contemplated the same thing. Actually continue.
My
Stop
comment
dying,
about
it's my
disintegrate
job.
was not in character.
Oh, no. That was mine.
You can see the pixie just kind of perches on your shoulder, takes a seat. Goes, right then, what? That way? Points a finger towards the northeast.
I'm going to start walking in that direction.
Can you ask it its name, please?
I asked it its name.
Name's Smithy.
How did you spell that?
THAT.
Fuck you.
Playground japes.
I'll say. It says, Sun doesn't matter that much. And it seems as though it told you, seems as though it's saying the truth that it's cold, Mithy.
Oh, sorry, the sense motive was
That's
to.
player. That's player saying how do you spell that? For people's notes.
My sense motive was to see if it does seem to be truthfully pointing us in a right direction or seems to be leading us astray.
I made a deal.
Nice.
And it is sat on Pescaria's shoulder.
Yep, I'm going to start walking in its direction. Hope the party follows.
Well, yep.
Hey, at least he didn't want to do something like strangle someone to death.
Do we hear this music going on around us as well?
Can you roll a perception?
Yes, you can.
You do hear what does sound to be pan flute music coming from deeper into the forest. Sort of at a right angle from the way the pixie's leading you.
So, can you check that out, but don't stray too far. I sort of have a small, more bounce or sway in my step as I move along with the music.
Is that you making your way,
I've sensed a rule off to go check it out, but not to stray too far. If it's actually really far away, then
it is quite far away, yeah.
to sort of spot anything from, I'd say about 60 feet away from me, and she can see 60 more. Can't see anything.
No.
She makes her way back. And I guess just tells me it's too far.
Yep.
Digressions would be nice, but dangerous here. Maybe another time. Continue moving with the party.
And then the pixie leads you deeper and deeper into the woods. It starts getting darker and darker until there is no light coming through the canopy. It is.
Except the sun rod.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
using dancing light also. I mean, I can see in the dark, but not everyone can, so.
I think Lavender is the only one that can't.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure Toby has goggles of night.
I do, yes.
Still, dancing lights would probably make us fit in, actually.
Plus, it's pretty.
As you walk deeper and deeper into the deep woods, you notice roots start to grow out of the ground. A couple of you trip over the roots. And there does seem to be movement in the undergrowth.
Can I still hear those? Sorry, can I still hear those pamphlets?
No, they would have been long gone at this point.
I'll go sound and mimic them, only quietly, as I keep my swaying motion in tune with it.
Can you roll a perception? Actually, can everyone roll a perception?
I can try.
Yep.
Well, she gets the same noise on this.
Fucking Noah.
And the best two to it, okay.
No sees nothing.
Nora's distracted by all the pretties.
I see
I love how
as much
Sarab.
as normal.
I love how Sarab, Pisiari, and Tobold have the same modifier.
Do they? 19.
say-
Oh yeah.
To be fair, at this point, there are some very nice, pretty things. There are like people-sized mushrooms. It's starting to get pretty freaky in terms of forest. But
It's because we're level 12, isn't it? And I've put all 12 skill points into
Yeah.
perception. So I guess it's not really surprising.
True.
I have a +5 bonus from Eyes of the Eagle.
Ah.
you notice, as the pan flutes start going, in the undergrowth, this small, almost sort of like grey bowl of fur starts to slowly waddle its way towards you.
Bun.
It is absolutely tiny. It's
Oh,
like as big as your fist.
Bun.
I lean down elegantly and reach out my hand. Slowly. Ghost sound still going with the other hand.
It just sort of hops onto your hand.
Ooh, what have you there?
Hello, little thing. You can't understand me, can you?
It just kind of stares.
Little fey friend, do you know what this creature is?
What the little thingy?
The very one in my hand, yes.
You can see it sort of just like sits and thinks, and it's like, that's probably not important.
Probably.
Never would have thought that a fey creature would have said something is unimportant. What were you going to say, Gotham?
So the fey creature can understand common, it just can't speak it.
Oh yeah, shit. I spoke to it in common because I don't know.
Oh no, it replied back in common. You asked it if it spoke Elven.
I did. I assumed it wouldn't speak common.
Never
I-
assume.
I turned to Gotham with sort of a sheepish look and go, that thing heard everything I said.
Yup.
Oh, well.
There's a reason I was speaking in Kalish.
I just have it, like, play around, like, with a bit of a sway in my step as well. I'll play around with the little fuzzy thing. As we're just moving around.
Fair.
Probably let Noah pet it a bit if it allows Noah and Noah wants to. Or anyone else wants to.
I'd love it. I'm gonna pet it.
Yeah, I'll say it lets it happen.
I will
Do you
be
still have the
keeping an eye
pan
on
flutes
that
going
thing.
at this point?
Sorry?
Do you still have a pan flutes going at this point?
Yep, I just maintain it quietly at a low tone. Like background music.
You notice another one starts to make its way up the undergrowth as well.
I guess these things like the pan flute.
That, or they're just slowly ganging up on you.
Oh, well, death by these fuzzy things wouldn't be the worst thing in the world now, would it?
You say that now.
I've seen Monty Python. I know how this is going down.
I've seen Star Trek. I know how this is going down. Death by tribbles.
You've seen Star Trek? Oh, what a fucking nerd.
I know, right?
So yeah, you still
you also play
dancing
D&D
around.
as
Death
well.
by tribble.
With one of them, yeah. I still need to maintain one. I think I need to maintain one hand for Ghost Sound.
I bet you also play
Yeah.
D&D as well.
I know, I'm such a nerd.
All the time.
As you dance around, you kind of trip on a tree root and almost lose your balance.
Does she drop it?
She does not drop it. Oh, actually, you can have a reflex, actually. Because I think you could potentially fail this. I doubt it, but
She's a dancer.
yeah, you regain your balance and don't drop it.
Unfortunately, it probably isn't high enough to make it look like I'm weaving it into a dance.
Nah, unfortunately not.
Yeah, just continue going. Taking in the scenery. Playing around with my new fuzzy friend. Watching the other fuzzy friends follow me, I guess.
Yeah. I was gonna say, are you guys taking a break for this, or are you carry on walking?
I imagine this was all still walking, right?
Yeah.
You do notice as the pamphlets are going, you do have a steady stream of small fuzzy balls starting to make their way out of the undergrowth.
Minton, while this is going on,
Mm-hmm.
can I be thinking about how the hell do you address a dryad without getting killed? Do I need to make a check?
Yeah, can I have a knowledge planes?
I haven't rolled above a 10 this session. As you know, I have for my perception checks.
I'll say I'll get to that in a second, but sorry, but as you keep walking, you notice you keep tripping up, stubbing your toe. More and more, it seems, until it's like you can't get a couple of feet without stubbing your toe.
Who, all of us or just Muse?
Muse mainly, but all of you also seem to, be tripping up, getting smacked in the face by a branch. It just seems to be bad luck, really.
So, Maithy, you say those things are probably nothing, right?
They're harmless.
I believe
To
you.
you or to us?
Those things couldn't harm you if they tried.
You're being coy now.
I believe him.
I'm just taking all these trips in stride as a practice a challenge to keep my foot in.
What do they do?
Minton, are Fae in this world bound to the restriction of they can't lie?
Yes. They cannot lie. They can, however, choose not to answer and bend the truth.
Okay.
It's fine, I've dealt with Scovens, they're basically Fae.
I mean, you're not wrong. Except they can lie.
Would I still be tripping up with my wooden stride?
I'm sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
His ranger thing.
What about it?
Would I still be tripping up? I can move normally through that sort of terrain.
Yes.
Or should I be concerned that this stuff is coming to get us?
You would still be tripping up, stubbing your toe, getting smacked in the face by a branch.
The forest is out to get us.
Lavender rolls her eyes. Has Lavender been having issues walking as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Does Lavender want a fuzzy ball?
Or two.
I've never been prepositioned quite so bluntly.
Lavender tilts her head like a puppy dog who looks confused.
Sorry, just slightly off topic. In fact, extremely off topic, but just relating to what Umbra said. I was doing a delivery on Friday night, and I knocked on the front door and went over, and the woman, and like a couple of seconds later, a woman poked her head out the side gate and said, "Hi, can I have it in the back door, please? Is that all right?" And innocent me was just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. And so I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then from inside the house, I heard a man shout, "Wish you'd ask me that sometimes." And oh god, it's a good thing it was dark because I was pissing myself. Sorry, carry on with the session now. I just wanted to share that with the group.
So what is Rab's response to our Lavender going puppy dog?
I gesture to this trail of fuzzy ball things following me. There's a bunch of grey fuzzy creatures that are just in like little balls that are just hopping along that came out of the undergrowth and are following me. I have one in my hand.
And I suspect they're the reason we keep hitting stuff.
I think we're just getting close to the Dryad.
Are we getting close to the Dryad?
Yeah, well, we're pretty close. Maybe hours more walk.
I suppose I will have to kick this up a notch. And I jaunty, like, for the next hour, pick up the pan flute a bit more to a more faster pace. Not too fast, but a little bit more than before.
Minton.
Yep.
I just remembered something. Do I know anything about this region of the Feywild's time distortion?
Can I have another knowledge planes for this specific?
42. Wow, that was a 14.
You're fairly certain this area is pretty stable in terms of time distortion. You're not going to end up like a couple thousand years in the future.
I mean, that would be fun, but thanks, Alex.
That's already happened once.
Can you imagine some like teen that was like feels like they're so out of touch with modern day fads, so they just take a trip to the Feywild and then come back in hopes that enough time has passed. That they're just like, this is more my thing. No, just me. Okay.
So, stable time, cool.
So, the change in music doesn't change anything with these creatures, does it?
Oh no, I was going to say if you're picking up the pace, they'll just, sort of hop slightly faster towards you.
I feel like the Pied Piper.
So what you're saying is I should now throw a fireball at them.
I mean,
I
what,
think...
what...
Go on.
I was going to ask what Lavender ended up doing whenever she saw them.
Saw the
little fluff balls.
If she was offered them, she would take them and slowly put them in her bag.
They are living creatures.
I was going to say, if you pick up the first one, you stick it in the backpack, that goes in entirely fine. Second one,
they are living creatures.
Sits in the backpack. They seem quite content in the backpack. How many do you end up stuffing in the backpack?
My God.
Is this a backpack or a bag of holding? Just want to clarify. What bag are you putting them in?
She looks over at Garthon and like Brick tells him to come over with her finger like beckoning him.
I tightly seal my bags of holding and then walk over.
Hey, I don't think she's carrying a portable hole.
He kind of sees him do that and kind of grumbles and kind of points to the bag of holding and then points to more of the fuzzy balls.
No.
She glares at him.
Things will die in a bag of holding.
Charlie,
point
that kills
at the door.
things.
Charlie bit my finger.
Lavender
What
just
does it
kind
take to
of
make a portable hole?
That would be me
Looks-
biting your finger.
that would be so. She gets kind of grumbly, and she just takes like, let's see.
Oh, I don't know plane shift. I can't yet
I
make a portable hole.
Can I stuff 10 in my bag?
I mean, these things are like fist size. You could probably stuff like a solid like 20, 30 in there.
Oh my god.
Okay, she puts 25. No, wait, 20. Let's do 26. She puts 26.
There's gonna
in.
be hair all over all of your
Okay.
stuffs, including the cake
Cake mix.
cake mix.
She's got that sealed.
I just feel sorry for the ones at the bottom that are now getting squashed. I hope they chew their way through the bottom of that bag.
Can I try and walk like a bit further the group, like at a small distance from the fuzzballs, and see if I'm still getting hit by all the things?
Well, like further ahead of the group.
Behind actually, given that I'm not the one we've deciding where we're going.
How far behind?
Maybe 20, 30 feet, not more. I do have dark vision of 60 feet, so I should be able to still see my companions pretty well.
Fair, because there is still a train of these things.
Yeah, kind of on a side.
How many have I attracted?
Like a solid 100.
Oh my fucking god.
By the way, the 26 she put in her bag, she purposely put them in a separate kind of place so that they're not getting hit or squished by the other stuff. And she seems to be quite careful with them. And now in my inventory, I have fluffy balls, 26.
You are not taking these out of the Feywild. That
Oh
is
my
non-negotiable.
She glares and looks at him like, and then shakes her head. And you don't know if that means no, I'm not taking him out, or no, you're not stopping me.
I'm so tempted to disintegrate the backpack.
Am I still being hit in the face by branches and tripping and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I being right at the front?
You seem to be getting hit less than everyone else, but that might just be because you're right at the front and the pixie's guiding you. You're not entirely sure.
I mean,
Alright,
how
I'm
much
gonna
am I able to
join
dodge because
back.
I see perfectly in all darkness?
More than most people.
Fair.
I'm still I'm going back towards the rest of the group. Don't want to take the risk of getting separated. My
Oh
experiment
god, Umbra,
failed.
why?
I don't know. I'm the one who can plane shift back home, so
Tech desires.
Who is that on, Umbra?
I mean, I have it for 9 minutes, so it's gonna make its rounds. First, on the little fluff ball in my hand. Does it have an intelligence of 1?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
sorry, does it have a charisma of 1? At least.
Yes.
Okay, I can detect its desire, its surface thought. What does this thing want right now?
It wants to sit next to the thing from the material plane,
Oh, okay.
and it likes the music.
The pixie on Pascal's shoulder.
Do you get a will save?
I believe so.
Yeah, will negates.
Do you see?
20.
20.
I'm gonna presume that's a fail. At the moment, the pixie just wants to get to the Strad.
I can't be asked for Pascal. I'm pretty sure I know it's going to be getting to this Dryad.
Yeah.
Am I right? Yeah.
I rolled a 3 on that save. Why are my dice betraying me today?
And out of curiosity, with the fact she just stuffed her bag full of those things, I'm going to look at Lavender.
What is Lavender's?
I need to throw a will save, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit! Just barely fucking beat it.
You are
Lavender
met
is
with
a
the sound of
mystery.
static.
Get out of my mind.
I can tell her charisma score, and that's it.
Oh, if you can tell the charisma score as well, Piscaria has a charisma of 10.
Oh. And I
It's
guess
my
I just
intelligence that you need to be scared of, not my charisma.
and I received a PM of Gorthons, and I'm gonna look very worried at Gorthons.
Should we be
Can I
scared?
also have a PM of Gorthon?
It was just an out of context joke.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd actually be thinking that.
I know.
That's
What?
in case she's spoken, but
Yeah, I'll probably glance. I've got time. I've got 9 minutes.
What, just setting
Lavender
them?
would kill him, but Lavender doesn't know this, so it's okay.
What, just setting them on fire and letting them run around?
Pretty much.
So, what is no surface desire?
mostly she'd like to know why she keeps stubbing her feet because she's usually not such a klutz.
And what is her charisma score?
Oh,
Why?
like close to mine.
Let me see. My charisma score is 25.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a spicy Christmas score right there.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Sarab's is higher, so there's no chance of you stunning her, but...
And I'm also going to take a look. You know what, since I got time. I'll take a look at Toby's as well.
What is
Fuck
Hobie's surface desire?
Well, unless he wants to make a wisdom or will save.
Okay.
Sorry, my mic was folded. Sorry, what were you? I don't know what my surface desire would be. What is it? Something where there's an actual answer, or are you asking me as a player to decide?
It's something for you to decide as a character. What would Tobold's surface desire be?
Is that
be
like
at the
what
moment?
he is
Yeah.
immediately?
Yeah, his immediate wants.
Second breakfast. I think
I'm not surprised.
I think that's in character. A saucy tart.
I'm literally not surprised at all. I'll continue on.
Fair. The journey continues on for another about 30
Other
minutes.
members of the party to mind their own damn business.
There is a fair amount of toe stubbing.
Have we all just suddenly had this?
I'll just seem to be having really shit luck. Or the inability to avoid trees. One of the two. Until eventually you arrive at what seems to be a fairly deep ravine. It's about 30 feet deep. It's just across there.
Alright. We need a blood rager, a rope, and a goblin.
It's a good thing Toby has like 150 feet of rope on him. In fact, I think it's more like 500 feet at this point because he's been collecting it. But
Sorry, how wide is the ravine?
About 30 feet deep. 50 feet across. It's pretty deep. It's basically a large gash in the earth.
I can dimension door at least part of the group. Piscaria, I believe you can do that too, right?
Oh, Of course.
If we need to cross and don't want to risk anyone falling off.
How many can you both take?
Let me check. What level is Dimension Door?
Sorry. Are you asking how much Dimension Door can hold?
How many people you can take across?
Let me double check.
Because you can take the entire
Let me
party.
just ping the thing. You may also bring one additional willing medium or smaller creature or its
Per 3 cast
equivalent per
levels.
3
Per
caster
3
levels.
caster levels.
So 4 people I can bring, and so
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's only 4 for me as well.
I
But
mean,
if we
there's
both
less than us, than 4 of us, so than 8 of us, so it should be fine.
I mean, if we both Dimension Door, then roll.
Alright, well. On your mark.
I mean, how many are we?
6.
7. With a.
Alright.
They can fly, can't
So
The fuzzy balls, like this is the player, not the
It would
character.
be
Do the fuzzy
polite to
balls
offer
count?
it. It would
Oh,
be
no,
polite
they're
to
just in your
offer
bag.
it. Mentor.
Okay.
Actually, there's like over 100 of us, technically speaking. If you're including the balls.
Carrying gear objects up to its maximum load. Are we counting these things as objects?
Yeah. I'll treat them the same as you'd treat livestock.
You have just lost.
Farm them.
You have just lost so many subscribers from Peter.
People who eat tasty meat, got it. Or tasty animal.
I will keep the one that I have in my hand, and I will wave my goodbyes to the near 100 behind.
So we Dimension Dooring.
Do we need to empty the 26 out of the bag?
I'm gonna
27.
Dimension
Lavender
Door
glare.
half of the party
Oh, wait, no.
through.
And I'll take the other half.
You don't need to take Cyril can fly.
I mean, I could cast Fly on myself, but...
I mean,
But
I could fly it with my boots, but
Why is everybody coughing so much?
because it's
It's
winter,
fucking
okay?
cold.
God, fucking get an immune system.
I'd love to.
Or a mute button.
I don't have time.
I've been muting most of the time I cough.
See,
Yeah,
it's just
she-
Umbra who's an inconsiderate asshole.
Yes.
I mean, Umbra's just an asshole in general, so...
Yes, but particularly and specifically inconsiderate.
I'm northern.
You
Can't be your
teleport across.
That can't be your excuse for everything, you know.
You're not even northern. You're a Midlander.
Oh, fuck you. You take that back.
Fucking fight me. I'm more northern than you are at this point.
Bullshit,
I'm not even from here.
Mr. Bath.
I'm not
Oi.
even from here.
From fucking all.
I don't even go here.
You're from the
Anyway, before this
Midlands.
devolves into Britain versus Britain slander, let's keep going.
The Third Civil War.
Right?
Tory bastard.
You guys notice
If anyone would be the Tory, it would be me, just saying. And I fucking hate the Tories.
Now, children.
Actually, it'd be Minton that'd be the Tory.
Can we keep
Yeah,
going,
let's keep
please?
going.
less politics, more politics. Anyway, fucking
We make our way
on
across.
this side, the growth just seems absurd for the trees. There's trees everywhere, bushes, grass. It seems completely wild. And the pixie just points at you and says, "Well, it's that way," pointing deep into the into the undergrowth.
I mean, we've got no reason to disbelieve him.
Can Lavender use her katana to start cutting kind of a path to point the direction that it pointed?
Yes, Lavender can. Can Lavender roll me a reflex
You're not harm the Feywild.
as a vine comes slashing out of the undergrowth when you try to cut at it? And can you now roll me 33,554,431 more?
What?
Do not harm the Feywild.
Maybe put the katana away.
This is relevant for whenever I tell you what happens, but you seem to trip over one of the little bowls which had managed to get its way out of the bag as you fall face first into the vine that slaps you across the face for 10 damage. Okay.
Jesus.
Oh dear, that was not so good. Sorry, little guy, but I'm not going to be able to play some more music. Looks like I need to concentrate.
Lavender kind of shakes off and checks to make sure the little fuzzy ball's okay.
Have we established what the fuzzballs are yet?
Nope.
No, Mighty refused to tell us what they are.
I think they're animated hand grenades, but
We can only be so lucky.
lucky. Okay, sure.
Start
Getting a
lobbing
cut-
our enemies.
Getting a
Here's what
cuddle from
Dalton
a
was
hand-
pondering earlier.
If your idea of lucky is getting a cuddle from a hand grenade, then sure. But
I mean, I had necks like that, to be fair.
ooh,
But yeah, the fuzzball seems entirely fine. Seems entirely fine.
do you reckon we could play like cricket with them?
It seems actually, quite lucky to have not been damaged at all.
Lavender kind of pets it a little bit and then quickly puts it back in her bag. And kind of brushes herself off, thinking okay, nothing happened, and then she's keeps moving on, but she doesn't use her katana anymore.
I'm going to fully concentrate on where my feet placement, arms arching at the back and whatnot to try and avoid as much of the foliage as possible. Just
You're getting scratched every which way, thorns scraping you, branches going in your eyes, tripping over rocks, face full of mud and dirt. At this point, all of you guys are basically falling over your own feet.
I'm prestidigitation every single time I get dirty.
I'll say what you guys are doing is trying to basically crawl your way through the undergrowth, or just
As best we can.
I guess.
We have made it this far.
Yeah,
As,
With a machete.
as frustrating as it is, we try and take any form of harm to these things, and we will get beaten to the nine hells and back.
How about we just let them go on their way?
Sounds good.
Fine. I suppose I am not much use.
I was going to say, what's everyone doing then?
Leaving the Pixie and Pescara to go on ahead, as it becomes just stupid for us to continue falling over ourselves. Or do we want to continue falling over ourselves?
Why are we falling over ourselves? Are we under some kind of spell, or is it just because the terrain is
Just
hella
seems to be
bad?
really bad luck. You put your foot down somewhere where you
Okay,
thought
yeah,
the
so
dirt
Yeah,
was
it's a
fine.
really
spell.
bad luck.
It's
Yeah,
a spell.
it has nothing to do with the little creatures that we're lugging around.
Someone's cast Parkinson's on us.
Fucking hell.
What?
We've now lost our Parkinson subscribers.
Can I just say,
Oh, we don't want
there is a
any
group
dirty
of
Parkinson's.
people at my university who watch this just for Monkey's comments.
Society.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Who watched this just for what, sorry?
Just for your comments.
Really?
Great, now you give him an ego. We're all screwed.
My ego has never, ever been at risk. Don't worry. Sorry, Minton, I thought you were going to say that there was a group of people at my university called the Parkinson Society.
All that as well.
No, that'd be too convenient for the Minton. It wouldn't get to be horribly racist that way.
Dated a girl at Parkinson's once. Best hand job of my life.
Anyway.
Wow.
So yeah, what's the plan, lads?
Lavender kind of stops, like, just breathing heavy, and she looks back to see what everybody wants to do. Because did you say out loud about the pixie and the other one going through?
I have no proof whatsoever, but my deep suspicion is that those cute little furry things are causing our bad luck.
Yeah.
I simply think that this is just a sign that we're getting closer. I think it's the Dryads doing.
Lavender points to the vampire.
Minton,
Yeah.
can I make a knowledge planes as to which one this actually is? Or any other knowledge?
Yeah.
Which?
Knowledge planes.
37.
I mean, you're not sure about these creatures, really. You've not really seen them in any books or anything. You're pretty sure dryads don't cause,
Clumsiness.
don't cause, you to randomly trip over your own shoelaces, basically.
So it's likely these fluff balls of hate.
I mean, it's probably not a dryad.
What
I
is,
don't know, in my head I thought dryads were bigger
what
than
is
that.
Matthew's face while we're having this discussion?
Mild amusement at you guys talking about it. Kind of a bit of a grin, just sitting around, lounging back on Pescaria's shoulder.
If our luck becomes so bad that we can't actually make it to the Dryads, I think that might end up kind of not leading you to complete your side of the deal.
I mean, my deal was to lead you there, not make sure you got there.
And this is why you always be very, very careful with deals you make with the Fae.
I place the one that's in my hand that I've been playing around with on the floor and give it a little one shoe.
It kind of just turns around and starts to huddle around your feet.
Aww.
I mage hand and give it a little nudge towards the undergrowth.
Are they like those little
It comes
things
running
from
back.
the new Star Wars movie? Can we eat them?
You had to mention that!
So another 27 goes in the bag.
My second question, I think, got missed. Can we eat them? Do they look edible?
Lavender glares at him and puts her hand on her katana.
Yeah, see, I'm not carrying any because I'm harboring a suspicion that they might be just fluffy hand grenades, but...
Can anyone talk to these things?
I'm having a suspicion that you're a terrible person.
I'm happy to confirm that suspicion. Guy, can I sneak attack one of them? No?
What?
I said I'm happy to confirm that suspicion, and can I sneak attack on one of them?
I mean, you could just stab one of them, yeah?
I don't know. I feel like this is also a bad idea, so I just wanted to know if it was feasible. Or if it was like, I don't know, trying to stab a ladybird. Like, yeah, technically possible, but quite hard.
Gothon, are you able to communicate with little critters?
You're just assuming that because he's an elf, he can talk to animals. Right?
Or
Again,
the big helm on
racial
my head that allows me to talk to anything.
racial stereotypes.
I mean, you fulfill your racial stereotype quite aptly.
I pat my belly and burp loudly.
Point proven.
I will try talking to the thing.
I'm gonna watch intently.
While shaking my head, going, what the fuck am I doing?
Go on then.
Does it respond in any way?
What are you going to say to it?
Fucking idea. Yes, what would you like me to ask the thing?
We've had our fun. It should move along now.
Talking to it in like that baby voice you talk to cats in.
Well, I talk to cats in. Okay, get out my way. You.
No, like the way I talk to puppers.
It's just that's not what Gotham does. I'm sorry.
Oh, but they're cute puppers.
So, Muse, what exactly you want to thing, if it even speaks?
We need to get this thing to scurry along back home. It is getting late, and it needs to get back home to its family, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I will turn to the thing, go right up close to it and say, beat it. My friend here doesn't want you around anymore.
Meanwhile, Toby has got his hat out of his bag and is now engaging it in conversation about various wines. Loudly enough so that Gorthon can hear and see Toby talking to a hat.
So, what language are you speaking in the Sin, or?
Common.
It just seems to sit there, sort of tilts its head sideways, or what you guess is its head.
See, doesn't understand me.
Understanding that you're a fucking retard.
What was that about? Someone stroking Monkey's ego?
You think I wouldn't have made that if you guys hadn't made that comment had you guys not laughed at my joke earlier? Like, I'm gonna be a dick whether or not you find me funny.
Holy shit, Monkey has a sense of humour. When did this happen?
Triggered.
I was gonna say it doesn't seem to jump out of the hat or anything. It just sits there.
Jump out of a hat? What?
I thought you said it was in a hat or something.
I was talking to my hat as just to mock Gorthon for talking to something that clearly isn't going to understand it.
Ah, fair. But no, it sits in Gorthon's hand, sort of tilts its head equivalent, but it doesn't seem
Can I
to.
take it and lob it?
Like a baseball.
Yup. Like throw
I
it away.
hand it over.
Sarab's eyes have just widened.
This is I'm stepping away from Noah.
Same.
It's yeah. I have no desire to be near this thing when the deadly killer rabbits attack.
Lavender, you might want to empty out your bag very quickly.
Yeah, you wind up and give it a good lob, and can have a reflex.
Oh god. From all of us or just her?
Just no.
I'm just waiting for this.
Wait, can Lavender try to catch it?
Can I have another 33,554,431?
What?
Reflex saves.
Yes.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh right, because there are that many of them and they're all about to attack her. Got it.
I will explain everything at the end, but
I think I've got it.
yeah, no,
Sorry, I
you
got tired of those things.
you managed to
It's
lob
you,
it,
about to
but
get
you
mauled.
slip on what seems to be a bit of mud on the floor and fall flat on your face.
Can I try to
Fair.
catch it?
Oh, I threw
You
it in the opposite direction of Lavender.
And I also said to Lavender that she might want to empty her bag out.
Does Lavender chase after it?
Yes, Lavender chases after
For
it.
fuck's sake. We're never getting out of the Feywild.
We're never fucking getting to the Dryad at this rate.
Yup.
We were almost down to 16 million, lads. So close. I was going to say, to be fair, it's disappeared off into the undergrowth, Lavender. You're not entirely sure where it's gone.
Well, since I'm making fun of her, but I honestly reckon Noah's got the right idea since we were all steadily and slowly becoming Stephen Hawking. So
Lavender, my dear, it was very fun to play with them, I must admit.
Phrasing.
you caught me completely off guard, Jamie.
Dick. But I think it is time for them to leave and head back home.
Lavender actually looks like angry, but then kind of sad for a moment. And she kind of,
Oh, Lavender has feelings.
just for a second. And she kind of like turns her face back up. And she looks at Piscaria, because the order has to come from her.
Piscaria nods.
She growls. And she gently puts her backpack on the ground and kind of opens it up and takes each one out and sets it on the ground and just zips up her backpack and steps over them and tries to walk away.
Very frustrated child in the background.
That was Lavender. What are you talking about?
They're going to still follow, aren't they?
You do notice they seem to get out of the bag and start to attempt to follow Lavender.
I wave my hand and I bring up an illusion of trees growing up around us as we continue moving
Doctor
To-
Doolittle in the party.
to block the way. Air quotation marks. Using shadow illusion.
Fair. You notice they do start to stop following as you start to make the trees and whatnot. And as you all start to head off, you can see, you start to get hit by less trees. You start to trip over less as you start to make your way away. The pixie was still giggling away, but
So how longer did that take us than you thought it would?
I mean,
I'm asking the pixie.
I thought,
God.
people
Pixie
that
voice
came
is
here
amazing.
from the material plane were supposed to, be capable. But I mean, you managed to figure it out.
After we've covered a bit of distance, I click my fingers, pop the illusion after we've got a good bit away from it, so they're not going to catch up to us. And I'll minor illusion one of them in Lavender's hands.
Lavender stops for a second and kind of looks at her hands and like looks upset for a moment and kind of claps her hands. Does she know it's an illusion?
I mean, if you just clap your hands on it, you'll probably be able to tell.
Yeah. And she looks like, and she growls and keeps walking.
I don't think that's helping.
I thought you would want one for the road while we continue, but if not...
I'm sure Gorthpom's got a replacement hairy ball or two.
He's an elf. They don't have a speck of hair on them down there.
You would know. I think you're a little too invested in the lore of the game, Umbra.
I mean, I don't actually know. I think that's just some Tolkien shit there.
Did Tolkien go, was that one in the Silmarillion?
Yeah. They made Orlando Bloom go like full body wax for it.
Method acting.
Yeah.
Okay, how are we nearly there then? Are we nearly there yet?
You do seem to be getting nearly there. I'll say with everyone's passive perception, you do notice that Lavender seems to be dropping little bits of cake every now and then on the floor.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well,
Yeah.
I probably don't notice, so.
Can Toby eat the bits of cake? Like walking behind Lavender, kind of surreptitiously pick up and eat the bits of cake
Ooh,
as we're
piece of
going
candy.
along.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece
Exactly.
of candy.
Except Toby knows what's going on. He's just, taking advantage to both clear up and get cake.
But yeah, Toby could do that. But
It is good to not stumble over everything.
It was quite the challenge, I must admit, to try and keep our footing.
I'll say, and after a bit more walking, you eventually arrive at a large opening in the forest, which has an extremely large tree in the middle. I was going to say, Mia, do you need to take a break at all?
Yes, I would love to.
Do we want to take a break here then? For a bit? People can get a drink.
Stop dying, all that.
Stop dying, go to the bathroom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I do need to take care of my doggo.
How dare you?
I know, right?
So can I just say those things are both beautiful and horrifying at the same time?
Which things?
Those
Doggos?
little the little fluff balls.
I shouldn't have offered them to Lavender. I should just
Nope.
kept the one singular one and just had a little bit of bad luck.
So with one, you roll 2d20 and take the lowest, right? Then with two, you'd roll 2d20, but instead, for each of those 2d20, you roll 2d20. So when you have 25 of them, it's 2 to the power of 25.
So it's mega disadvantage.
Yeah. It was disadvantage on your disadvantage on your disadvantage on your disadvantage, and so on and so on and so on.
Yep.
I take you basically just assumed that we were just gonna every check was in that one. By that point.
Yeah. I mean, when you're rolling 33 million dice,
I'll be right back.
the laws of averages say that one of those will be a 1.
Yeah. More impossible things have happened, mind.
True. But also, I'm fairly certain roll 20 crashes when I try and roll 10,000. So I didn't particularly want to go for, rolling, will that be 330 lots? No. 330 lots of 10,000 every time I did a roll.
And then you'd probably add on to it and drop the highest, all of them -1.
Pretty much. But I need to hop into the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Plug in my laptop and hope that it's gonna start being nice over here. I really hope this cough fucking goes soon. Should take some paracetamol actually.
I'm here. I'm just cooking dinner.
Okie dokie. I have missed how offensive this group gets. Blah. Right, be right back.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Back.
Minton and the armor AFK, I believe.
Hmm?
No, Minton's there. Yeah, it's just Umbra that we're missing.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mia back already?
No.
I was going to say, I swear it takes,
Yeah, and
takes a while to work the bag.
Right back.
Welcome
back.
back.
How long do colds usually take to get rid of?
Varies
Oh.
depending on the cold.
Yeah,
On average?
a week.
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Hopefully should be gone then by the time the end of this week comes. Because I've had it now for 2 weeks tomorrow. I bet that includes incubation period and all that whatnot.
Okay.
When's your dissertation thing doing? Anyway, is it not the end of the year? Or July?
My final one is my interim report is basically my halfway hand in.
Yeah. I had to do an interim report for my placement here. I literally cracked on to it 5 hours before it was due in.
That's basically my plan here, except my interim report also includes having to actually write my program. So
I'm meant to be doing monthly logbooks. I've just packed that in. Can't be asked. And we'll see if I do my end of year report about this whole thing.
my plan is do my project on basically tomorrow onwards. And then actually do the program tomorrow onwards, and then what am I trying to say?
Words.
Yeah, the weekend is for actually writing the report.
Fair.
Because I mean, it's basically upgrading the initial report, and the initial was 1,500, and the interim is 2,500.
Not too bad then.
Okay, it's what's that? An extra 1K.
Yeah.
Where
Could be
basically I get to talk about why my missile system shoots down civilian aircraft.
I didn't realize you were Russian.
Surprisingly, the US do it too. Well, fundamentally, that's how the system works.
It's QRA.
Huh?
QRA, quick reaction alerts. Almost all nation air forces have it.
Oh no, I was more going off of the IFF systems on radar.
Oh right, yeah, IFF.
Because you either know if it's friendly or not friendly, and if it's not friendly, you have to presume it's hostile.
Yep.
That's the Swiss way anyway.
Basically, it has a giant big radar. Well, not a radar. Well, it has a radar dish. But how it works is it sends a message to the aircraft and goes, "Give me your clearance codes," and then civilian aircraft don't reply because they don't have the ability to reply.
Well, it depends.
Oh,
there
no,
are
okay,
there are civilian IFF.
Oh yeah. Civies reply, "I'm a civvy."
Yeah.
Friendlies reply with, "My clearance code is beta 1227. Whatever the code of the day is." And then military or enemy aircraft probably send, "I'm a civilian," or don't reply, since military aircraft can turn off the military transmissions and just pretend they're a civilian aircraft. So,
military aircraft are pretty much the only aircraft that ever have the ability to turn off their IFF transponders.
Yeah.
So, it was how the US shoot down of the airliner, the Iranian airliner was. You remember that ages ago? I can't remember what it was.
The one I'm referencing
by the ship.
I wasn't aware of that one. Thank you for telling me about that. I will note that down, actually. Was it Arabian?
Iran Air Flight 655.
Luckily, you're going to note it down in grand larceny.
Here you go. I'll send you a link quickly.
The most common example, which was actually used recently, was do you remember the Ukrainian rebels shot down a Malaysian Airlines flight?
Yep.
Basically, the Russians totally didn't give the Ukrainians the system. Yeah, and the Russians sent out a really cryptic message of basically, if you're flying over Ukraine, don't go below 80,000 feet. Because it's
80,000 feet is pretty much impossible for anything to fly at. Like, even SR-71 cruised below 80,000 feet. So
it's also the ceiling for the Book M3 missile system.
Welcome back. I'm pretty sure Mia's been recording for all of this.
I mean...
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, the viewers get to hear about my honours degree dissertation.
But yeah, the Iranian air flight, there were a bunch of Iranian Tomcats flying around, and basically a USS, a US Navy cruiser mistook the airliner for one of the Tomcats and shot it down, and then only afterwards realized, oh shit, that was an airliner full of civilians.
Rip.
Spoiler alert, and that's what happened. But yeah, it's a very interesting kind of international incident, and with a lot of stuff, and IFF played an important part in the events leading up to it, or the events that caused it. So,
Bye.
Methinks we're all here.
Methinks everyone is back. Yes.
Yeah.
Ray and Hobbit.
Maybe. I'm here.
Women.
Say it 3 times. It's scary as hell.
Over to you, Mentoni.
You guys have arrived at the clearing. You can see that there is an extremely large tree in the middle, which has
the Book of the Jedi.
Beautiful golden leaves. You guys should be able to see that.
A map.
Wow, a map.
Battletoads.
Holy shit, Minton's actually poured out all the stops today.
I mean, he's had like a month to prepare.
Point.
How tilted would he have been if we went, you know what, we're gonna go. We're not gonna go to Feywild. Let's go somewhere else.
I've been like, fair play.
Just file this away for next time.
File this away because they still need their wood. You never know if like another party will... Oh well, it means that I then get to roll and see how long before an NPC takes it.
Alright.
I was gonna say, you guys are coming in from the south.
Okay.
Oh, we'll put Saru on there. She's basically just gonna be in my shadow.
Pardon me?
Oh, on the way, can I have asked our pixie acquaintance if the Dryad speaks Common?
His name's Toby.
Their name is actually Maitha. Maithi?
Maithi. Oh, yeah, they maybe. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes.
Do those dryads we're going to see speak Common? Gotta be specific.
I mean, I don't really talk to this dryad that much.
Oh boy. What could possibly go wrong?
That's my saying.
Well, it's mine now.
I guess I approach. These just bushes.
Oh, those are trees.
Lavender's kind of walking in front. She's kind of just looking out for stuff.
Did I ever get a picture of Lavender?
No,
I thought yes, I did. I sent you one.
it's not on her sheet.
Nope, but I did send you one.
Ah, yes, so you did. I will make a token of that now. Also, the weeb. Such weeb.
I suppose as I enter the tree circle, I will call out in common. Is there a dryad that we can speak to here?
You can see the bushes on the other side of the forest. I sort of shake ever so slightly, and you can see a figure that seems almost half human, half made out of leaves and trees steps out.
I guess there is.
Lavender has her hand on her sword.
I give a courtesy.
Can I take a look to see if there's any more of these around?
Oh, yeah, roll perception.
I'm just taking in the view of the pretty dryad. I'm not even gonna bother rolling
That's
perception.
just an NPC token.
That's a 44. There do not seem to be any other dryads around. Represents character.
Does the dryad communicate to me in common?
Oh, the dryad just seems to be staring from over there, wondering. Seems sort of, almost staring, but slowly makes its way around the edge. And you can hear it calls out in an almost sort of oaken voice. What do you want?
Your tree here is very special, spectacular, and beautiful. What is it made out of, if I may ask?
You can see the dryad just kind of gives you a wary look and says, "Why do you ask? It's not common for people from the material plane to come here."
We like to have an adventure, and we heard the Feywild was so beautiful. We're taking in the sights and being wary of its dangers.
And that you should. The Feywild is a dangerous place.
Do you have many people from our home travel through these parts?
You see the dryad kind of gives you a not irritated look, but mildly impatient, and says, "You seem strong enough to know that the Fae don't generally give things away for free. Think wisely with your questions, though. As for people visiting, it is mostly either the Eladrin coming or going."
I take a sigh. A trade you prefer?
What do you propose?
What do you request if we were to have or receive, to take back with us? I sort of look towards the tree. What was the wood called again?
Heartwood.
May I ask if this particular tree is made of heartwood?
It was very tactful, Umbra.
Can you roll me sense motive?
I think the Dryad's probably rolling sense motive as well.
Yeah, that's right, it is. And then,
Ooh.
you can see the Dryad reacts quite defensively when you say Heartwood.
Well, there's your answer.
Why do you ask?
We have been sent to retrieve some, and I suppose we can ask for an exchange, a trade. It is how you work, no?
I'll give you 15 cakes for the tree.
You can see the Dryad just kind of stares indignantly at you.
I mean no offense.
It might be too late for that.
You're staring at Toby, not at you.
Wait, I didn't say it out loud.
Oh, did you not say it out loud?
Oh, no. This is kind of pissing around. Sorry, I should be more clear when I'm...
That's fair. You can see the Dryad looks and goes, "How much heartwood did you require?"
Not enough to damage or prevent regrowth.
In turn,
Mm-hmm.
you need to set up Piscara's default token.
Does she not have one?
No.
We have been sent to acquire, potentially over time. Was it £2,000? I need
Yeah,
to
it was
double check.
£2,000.
£2,000 in weight.
How much? How big is this tree, by the way? Like, are we basically saying we need all of your tree?
You're basically saying we need most of your tree.
If we take all the tree, we may get more money.
It's an excellent point.
How far away from us is this Dryad? Okay.
Lavender grins a little bit at Gorthon and kind of like puts her thumb up.
It's about this distance away.
I mean, I'm sure we could take some and maybe some from another tree. so that we're sure that we don't
Destroy?
destroy your habitat.
After all, deals are mostly effective when both parties benefit.
Not really a deal if they don't.
Minton, I'm going to be actively keeping an eye out for any sign that this dryad is casting a spell.
Okay. I mean, I was expecting you to just say, Mint, I cast Disintegrate, but
Diplomacy hasn't failed yet.
Is
the Dread looks and goes, I would only be able to provide a few branches. Though we're doing a favor, might even end up with you finding more hardwood.
that is a possibility.
What
Another
is
idea.
the... Oh, I want to know what the favour is. I'm trusting you to ask it.
Another idea that I've thought, and I once again mean no offense if this is against any such wishes or desires of a dryad, but to be able to grow our own. Would that be possible?
You can see the Dread looks quite offended at the thought, quite like disgusted almost. No, it would not.
Then forget I said anything. This favor that perhaps will bring us to a number of other heartwood trees. What would it entail?
There is a settlement in the mountains to the north. The people living there have been logging in this forest and have even taken a few of my kin away from me. You might still be able to find lumber in their settlement, which is hardwood, so my favor for a few branches from my tree would be for you to go and get rid of this settlement.
The lumber that they have already logged is hardwood, you say, correct?
Some of it should be.
Are you aware of how much exactly?
Three small trees.
Small is a very abstract descriptor. In comparison to this tree,
For half the size.
that would probably add up to 2,000, over 2,000, right?
Thereabouts. It might add up to 2,000. If it's about half the size.
What? So one of the trees would be half the size, or all three combined would be half the size?
One tree would be half the size.
So if there's 3 trees worth in there, we can easily get the 2,000 or more.
Presuming this tree is enough for 2,000.
Those people. What kind of people are they?
Terrible people destroying the Feywild for their own advantage, not caring about nature at all.
Two questions from myself.
Are they from the material plane or are they native to the Feywild?
Does that really matter when they're destroying this forest?
Arguably no, but a physical description to know what we face will aid us a long way in knowing how to defeat them.
I myself have two questions to add here.
Yep.
Does the Dryad care about their fate? Like, does he just want them driven out? Does he want them dead? And does he have any pictures or things I could study to learn what this village looks like?
All dryads are she's.
I'll try to she's.
My apologies.
I just
You just
can't do an
misgender.
old tree voice.
It's 2018. They can be whatever they want.
That's player ignorance. Ascaria would know.
This dryad sexually identifies as a charcoal burner. Anyway, so what were the questions?
Physical description of the loggers.
What fate is desired for them, like driven out or slain? And is there anything I can study to learn what the village looks like?
There's nothing to study and not many ways to describe them, though you will recognize them by the clashing of gears and the smell of the smoke.
Knowledge. I, as a player, know what that is. Knowledge planes, please.
Yep.
Because that smacks. Give me a moment. Fucking Mechanus.
Oh, it could just be another group of adventurer on the same mission as us.
That smacks of Mechanus.
Could be the Imperials.
Minton?
Now, you see, if that check was one lower, I would have told you it was Mechanus. Are you aware of the Iron Core?
Player, no. Pescaria, probably.
Okay, Pescaria would basically just have heard what I'm about to tell you, so I won't go into much detail to keep it, what you know as a character. While the living play, or while the Feywild is the embodiment of positive energy and motion, and basically mimics the life and surrounding. There are water things like nymphs, naiads, dryads, all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are also Fey that embody technology. That would be the Iron Court.
How good or bad an idea is it known of trying to fight them?
Nobody's really tried. Generally, the only people which come to the Feywild are the Acadians, and they just, don't want to put in the resource to start a war in the Feywild. Don't want to start a war in general. What's known of the Iron Court is basically, while the Winter Court has its purpose, and the Summer Court's purpose is to stop the Winter Court. The Iron Court's purpose is to basically industrialize the entirety of the Feywild.
I'm going to relay this to the party.
Well, this will make for interesting stories once we make it back to the material plane.
If declaring war on a Fey court
They'll have to catch us first. I've done this stuff before. Hit and run tactics. We hide in the shadows. We hit them hard, hit them fast, and then we move on.
And get the wood.
We get the wood and we get out. What say you all?
I'm in.
Oh, actually, no, there's spoilers in that. Never mind, Jamie. Ignore that.
Oh, I was reading that.
Well, you read the first paragraph, probably. You got to the good part. The later parts have spoilers in them.
Gotham? Toby?
There's not much I can do. It's a fucking.
I mean, you're also probably pretty certain that just, this Dryad's tree would probably make two tons.
Is our pixie friend still with us?
Did he leave us?
No, your pixie friend's still there, just sat on your shoulder, and it's like, I mean, most people don't like the Iron Court, Probably have less faith trying to kill you if, fought the Iron Court than, killed a random innocent Dryad.
That is a very good point.
I mean, if you wanted to get rid of the Dryad, I'd be willing to help for another favor.
Nobody said anything about slaying this innocent dryad. But declaring war on a fake court.
Nobody said anything about declaring war.
The Iron Court are not the type to listen to a group of adventurers pleading with them to ignore this set of woods.
Oh, Treasury, I didn't expect us to actually talk to them.
Revert to point A, declaring war on a fake court.
How big is this settlement?
It is not that large. Maybe 20 or 30 Fae, a couple of machines. It has just recently been set up.
It is not war, because we are not representing anyone.
We are
And
merely...
how far away is this settlement?
A day's travel to the north. It's up
Estimate in
the
adventurer terms. How much is it? Or when it says a day's travel, how much is that in distance?
I believe the average walk speed is 6 miles an hour.
4 miles an hour, 6 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
It's 3 in this. It's 3 miles per hour, presuming off road.
Good point.
About 25 miles.
Sorry, I was thinking in real life.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming I can't just teleport 25 miles north. You actually need a destination in Pathfinder. You can't just go, I teleport this distance.
I mean,
teleport's
25 miles north might be in the middle of a hill.
Point.
I mean, I'd let you teleport just going, I just want to go 25 miles north. But that's basically an auto mishap.
Better to not risk it in a foreign land.
Walking isn't the end of the world, Piscaria.
Is there anything you have to add, Gotham?
Nope.
Yeah.
Lavender's just smirking.
I would ask as well for your Lavender, but so far you have not spoken. Unless you write something down in your notebook.
It's just under 8 hours travel north, if I'm thinking correctly.
Lavender,
Oh,
she
just
had her
over.
notebook. She
Just
had her
over
notebook out
miles.
because she was showing something to Gorthon, but she takes it back and kind of scribbles in it real quick and shows it to the group. And it says just simply, "Don't worry, weak one. If you need me to carry you, I can." And she's talking about Viscaria.
Oh, Piscaria doesn't massively want to even consider camping in the Feywild.
I have ways to make us safe, don't worry.
So, it's not that she minds walking it; she doesn't want to risk camp. No, how are you doing for spell slots?
I am more than fine. I have used mage armor and 1 comprehend languages in 1 dimension door.
Yeah. Do I have enough of my spell slots? That's a sarcastic comment. Of course, I have enough of my spell slots.
Mr. 97 pages in his spell book.
Hey, I've still got 5 spell slots left. That's in level order.
I believe we have made our decision anyway to go and strike at the Iron Court.
That would be the one.
I turn to the Dryad. So, you will give us, what was it again, in return for taking care of your Iron Court problem?
In return, I will. In return for you eliminating that settlement, killing them all, and making sure that none survive, I will give you these 2 branches of the tree and rights to my fallen brethren's trees inside of the settlement.
So we shall decree any hardwood we find inside the settlement, plus the branches you give us, is what we gain, and you gain the total and complete destruction of the fake creatures in that settlement.
And any machinery and the settlement itself. It also pointed to 2 specific branches. You can see them fairly medium-sized. You reckon there might be maybe 500 pounds of wood on those 2 branches?
Each.
In total.
Death to the fake creatures found inside the encampment, destruction of the machines, and destruction of the encampment.
I'm not sure on that last one whether we can even do that.
Destruction of the machines and culling of the fake creatures inside the encampment is something we can do.
Yeah, destroying the encampment itself. The best I could do is disintegrate 3 10-foot squares. If I don't have to use disintegrate during the fight.
What we will do if we, as I repeat, kill the Fae inside the encampment and destroy the machinery inside the encampment. It will pave a way for you and your other Fae compatriots to take over the encampment and make sure they don't return. How does that sound?
I would do that for one of the branches, then, as there should be enough heartwood in the encampment to settle whatever you need it for.
Can you promise that? That with that one branch and what we find in the encampment will fulfill our quota of 2,000 pounds of heartwood.
I can give you my word to the best of my ability.
And should we not find enough, in our own truthful words, are you willing to reimburse us the rest to fulfill our quota?
That I am not.
How long until they make it to this tree?
Sarabi bastard.
Long enough that I'm sure if you don't take the deal, some other mortals will.
We have not seen a single other mortal from our plane. And we've been traveling for quite a while.
I believe there's at least a group of you which comes every 2 years.
And you're expecting them not to make it from their encampment to here in those 2 years?
That's 2 of your years.
I want an insight check. This motive.
She's literally a living tree.
It's more the case of, does she genuinely have no fear of such a thing happening?
She doesn't seem to have that much fear.
How many mortals have you come across?
More than a fair few, most either lost or looking for heartwood.
Those looking for heartwood, how pliable were they to your demands?
Some of them took my deals, some of them didn't.
And how
Those
many
that
of them?
didn't journey were generally longer, I believe.
And how many of them deemed a bit more aggressive? Humans and other humans are very fickle creatures and can get very impatient. I know many adventurers that are far different from us that would much rather take the easy option. I'm just saying we are very, very willing to take care of this problem, but we need insurance that we make our quota. The next group that come along might not be as kind-hearted as us, and they might try and take what doesn't belong to them. You can never be sure.
You can see the Dryad just kind of gives a half grimace, half grin at that, as the Dryad is pretty sure you basically just tried to blackmail her.
I mean,
With
if the Dryad is
violence.
pretty sure, Pescara is certain.
And you can start to see vines start to, snake their way around the ground near the base of the trees, and
I'm not insinuating that we are going to do such. I'm just simply stating I have lived on the material plane for quite a while. I've lived in rough areas, and I understand that many humans and other humanoids are very impatient. I do not want such fate to happen to you. We almost look out for ourselves. You surely understand this, especially in the form of making deals. It is give and take, after all.
Indeed, even though the Heartwood and the encampment should be more than enough to satisfy your quota, I still am offering you one branch of my tree.
I was only simply asking that if we found not enough in the encampment, that we would have insurance to fill the rest. If you are in utmost certainty that we will find more than enough, then we have no need to return. We're not greedy.
I cannot give my word, as I do not know what's in the encampment at the moment. All I can say is that, to the best of my knowledge, there should be enough.
I turn to the others.
I do believe that's the best deal we're gonna get. Getting some insurance of safe passage, information on the dangers between here and there would be helpful.
I turn back. Before we seal the deal, to assist us on our quest for you, to ensure that we are successful for you, do you have any advice, tips, or whatever else to assist us or ensure us of quick and or safe passage to this encampment?
These deep woods are my lands, so I will attempt to prevent any of the residents from causing you any harm. Aside from that, my advice would be don't stray near anything that looks dangerous, and don't pick up small hand-sized creatures and put them in your luggage.
We have learned our lesson.
Lavender
what I
just
want.
glares at him and folds her arms.
But I appreciate the additional advice. Then let it be decreed. One of your branches and claim to all hardwood found inside the encampment that we are set on, where we shall destroy all mechanical equipment and kill the Fae inside.
GM question, did you say we or?
She said we.
Okay.
I said we.
Second GM question, because I'm not as good as telling apart from the Fae. Are there any loopholes in that?
I have basically just declared killing Fae, all Fae inside the encampment. If they step out of the encampment, they are no longer in the encampment. Machinery in the encampment, once again, if it is outside the encampment, then yeah, those are the only two deals of.
The Dryad would attempt to close those loopholes then, and say, or any iron court outside the encampment within a 10-mile radius.
That's a big radius.
That is a large radius, and what if we are not aware that there may be some lurking?
All iron cords that we are aware of that originated within the encampment when we arrived. Unless they pass beyond 1,000 feet away from the encampment.
They would return. How does any iron court you come across?
There has to be a limit to how far we can pursue. For our own sanity and safety, there is a limit to how far we could pursue those that choose to flee rather than fight.
Within a 2-mile radius of the encampment?
And
That
look,
means
Sarab.
that if anyone flees.
We would chase up to a 2-mile radius of the encampment. If we spotted them if they were found in the encampment upon our arrival, if they managed to escape us in our best efforts to pursue them and to kill them, they reach a distance of further than 2 miles, then we must stop our pursuit.
Even if they started outside of the encampment, surely being outside the gates doesn't exempt them from.
Upon our arrival of the encampment, all Iron Court Bay that we see, we will kill or pursue to a 2-mile radius.
That you see or become aware of.
I'll give it a nod. Making deals is so much fun.
The worst part is I know the Fae would be better at closing loopholes than me. The Dryad nods. The deal is a deal and the deal has been done. And all of you feel a quite heavy weight pushed down your shoulders.
I'm gonna stretch.
Yeah, the weight disappears after a couple of seconds.
So Lavender don't feel it too much because she still feels light as a feather.
So, may we take this branch now, and we'll get out of your hair and head towards the encampment immediately.
You can see the Dryad motions towards the tree, and one of the branches falls off and lands on the ground with a thud.
That is a handy trick.
May my companion retrieve it from the floor.
The Dryad motions towards the branch.
You're probably better at this, Lavender.
Lavender nods and goes to pick it up.
On our way north, then.
Is she putting it in a bag, or is she just kind of lugging it on her shoulder?
Can we manage to fit it into a bag of holding? Stuff it in.
I mean, if you cut it into chunks, maybe. Can it hold 200? Well, that'd be 250 pounds.
Pretty sure any of the bags of holding the party has can.
Hold hand up, mine can't.
I have a handy haversack, not a bag of holding. Don't look at me. A Gorthon. You're the bag of holding bitch in the party.
I was gonna say, this is where we're gonna call it with you guys having just signed deals with 2 different Fae in about what, a 4-hour in-game?
Yeah, probably. One's only with the little pixie. The other we had to be very clear on. I was really hoping that Minton wouldn't have asked about the loopholes. Because I also ended up not...
Is the pixie included in our deal with the Dryad?
What, Faye? It was later clarified of Iron Court Fae.
No, as
But
in,
that is
Were you
No,
gonna
no,
try and
as-
fucking remove the pixie?
Well, I was
As in,
gonna
is
say-
the
no,
pixie
no. Is a pixie
included in our group
obligated
of
to help
yeah?
us?
The pixie isn't now.
Cool, I am gonna have to remove Pixie.
How comes the Pixie's not included? Pixie never outright said he's not part of the group, but he just showed up with the group.
Yeah, he's with us.
I could just imagine now, like, if people were looking at the pixie, it was just shaking its head violently, and then someone looked at it and just like, no, I'm not doing anything.
The pixie is basically just traveling along with you into, well, because it fulfilled its part of the deal.
But yes, in my first wording of I didn't specify Fae or what Fae, I literally said Fae inside the encampment. Just in case.
Well, just in case you had a chance to kill the pixie.
Just in case there was something in there that pissed me off.
Because I can see this Pixie throwing a spanner in the works and going, hey, as your favour, you have to stop killing these guys. In which instance, I just immediately turn and disintegrate him.
Just clap it. It's
I think a disintegrate is a overkill on a pixie, but you know.
just literally get Lavender to clap.
Because somehow I don't think my acid splash would do enough damage. And the remainder of my combat spells are AoE.
Or Lavender could eat it.
What is it with you and eating enemies? First a werewolf, now a pixie.
That was completely out of character. I did it for the shits and giggles. And now it's continuing to haunt me.
My combat spells are Fireball, Dragon's Breath, Detonate, Lightning Arc, technically Wall of Force counts, and Disintegrate. The other thing I'm really tempted to do is impart Mind into that branch.
But yes,
What's a combat spell?
I thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna, say the session is done here, in case anybody wants to.
Yeah, I need to be getting going. As much as I'd love to stick
I got work
around.
in the morning.
Alright, have a
Good night,
night.
losers.
Take
Sure.
care.
Right.